Folks, welcome inside the Parisi Palace, high above 2919 East Broadway. This is a special live edition of the Jake Feinberg Show, coming to you live on Power Talk. Please go to our website, powertalk.live, download our free app, and stream all of our live local programming, including Solomon on Blast, the Jim Parisi Show, and yours truly, the Jake Feinberg Show. We can't thank you enough for making us part of your day today, and one of the L's on my program is lineage, and being able to trace back all musics to their original source. I get a chance to talk to a cat who did not learn within the four walls of academia. He learned within the houses of Yusef Lateef and Donald Byrd, Tommy Flanagan, Kenny Burrell, the Jackson Brothers, and so many more. Such an honor, still smoking. He's got a gig tonight with a former guest of the Jake Feinberg Show, Toshiko Akiyoshi. Barry Harris, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show.
Thank you for having me here.
It's an honor to talk to you, man, and I appreciate you making the time. It's funny, back, a couple months ago, I'm working on a film documentary on Stan Getz, and I was talking to Ron Carter, and I asked Ron, I said, did you ever play any bebop gigs? And he said, yeah, with Barry Harris.
That's about it.
I mean, those were essentially the only gigs. I guess what I wanted you to talk about, Barry, to start off was if you could talk about the Cats, your generation of Detroit, and the fact that you would go buy records and transcribe those songs and create your own vocabulary of music. If you could talk about a specific example of that, because the learning systems today are completely different.
Well, they've got so much now, I don't even know what I say. I wonder how they get anything. See, when I grew up, if you had records, you had one copy of a thing. Now they got all these alternate takes that they've suddenly brought out and all that stuff. All we had was that. And we loved jazz. Like jazz was American music. And you see, I don't even call it jazz. I call it classical music. See, because I don't mind people calling it jazz, and I call it, no, I shouldn't say I don't call it. I call it jazz, but we're the continuation of classical theory, of learning how to improvise. The same way Bach and Chopin and Beethoven and all the rest of them, Liszt and all of them, the way they learned how to improvise, there was a way to learn how to improvise. In our country, we haven't come up right with the right answer to a lot of things. And so we still go around phonily saying, diminished scales, half step, whole step, half step. All that is such nonsense. See, that's such nonsense. And we have, and I can't I can get it across to Europeans. I can't get it across to Americans. What is that? I don't quite understand, because it seems like they want me in all those countries. Now they call it Finland, Norway, all the places, Israel, Russia, all of them want me to come to their country. Because they know that when I talk truth. I talk from a beginning. I have been a teacher all my life. I knew a little more than most of the people, so that I ended up being a teacher. I taught Paul Chambers how to play. Joe Henderson came to me to learn how to play. See, all these people came looking for me because they knew that they had heard about me before, because I was really dedicated. I was so dedicated, it's unbelievable. And I think of all these cats, they got all these records of Bird playing one song over and over, and all different solos. He shows us how great he is, because he plays all different solos too. But we only had one take. I had one take of Un Poco Loco, one take of Dancing Infidels, one take of this song, one take of that song. But man, we learned how to play from one takes.
Well, I want to ask you, I mean, do you, I talked to Tootie Heath, I did my second interview with him, and he says the pentatonic scale is not taught anymore at all. And say again?
You didn't even mention that scale to me. Pentatonic doesn't mean a thing to me.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is this. Going back, if you could talk about the strength and the creativity within the community of Detroit. You guys were I've interviewed I've interviewed Kenny Burrell. I've interviewed
all of them.
All of them. But I mean, you guys were making up the rules. Can you talk about specifically a song or even a memory you have about how you guys collaborated? Because to me, this is about...
We didn't collaborate, man. We just went to see each other play. I would go... See, Tommy and Kenny Burrell, they were about the best two players. You know, they were the best two. I was a listener. I followed behind Tommy Flanagan. You understand? So we learned from them. I learned from Tommy Flanagan, but I had other cats. I had Will Davis, another piano player. If ever you get a chance, man, look up Will Davis, and he's got an album, and you listen to that. Will Davis, we had Willie Anderson, we had so many cats that could play. Theodore Shealy, all these cats could play. You know, shoot, I went to the West Side. I said, all these cats can solo. I don't know how to solo, so I had to come back and try to figure out how to solo. And I Bess, I don't know if you ever heard of her, Bess Bonnier. She's a blind pianist that I grew up with. I say, Bess, you got that machine. Can I use your machine? She had a machine where you could slow down the record all the way down, you know.
Right.
She loaned it to me, and that's how I learned how to solo, you know. So we had different things. We were very connected. All of us were all connected. It wasn't no white, no black. It wasn't none of that stuff. We were all, Pepper Adams, all of us, we were all connected. You know, Leo Osborne, see, all these names, you know, oh, man.
No, I mean,
we were very connected.
I mean, I would like you to, I mean, also, one of the things is that, to be very clear to the audience worldwide, you were playing in unamplified acoustic settings. Could you talk about a period of time in your career where your ears grew the most because you were able to hear the acoustic bass and all the legendary drummers that you did you get a chance to play with Kenny Clark or Tiny Khan or, I mean, Elvin?
Oh, yeah.
These cats. I
didn't get a chance to play with Kenny Clark, but I played with Tiny Khan.
What I'm trying to get at is this. Can you talk about how they feathered the bass drum? My generation, I'm 38 years old, my man. All I hear now is a propensity and a reliance on double bass drums, and it sounds like machine guns. All the cats that you grew up with were dancing on the cymbals and feathering the bass drum. Can you talk about some of the ways that the rhythmicists that you played with and how you guys were able to swing? That's why you were able to swing.
Yo, I'll tell you, man, those cats could really play. You know, there's a record I just found with, you know, you ever heard Mel Powell? You know anything about him?
Mel Powell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Well, man, let me tell you. There's a record of Mel Powell. Let me get this right. And a drummer, I don't know the drummer's name, but it's a record, no bass player. So the drummer is playing 4/4 with the foot, you know?
Right.
And Mel Powell is striding. And Bird, Deers, Prayers, all of them are on this record. And they're playing Sweet Georgia Brown. My brother, you have to hear that record. Then you see that our music was really brilliant. We had a lot to learn. Those cats were all brilliant. So we learned from the right people. You know the music, and that wasn't a long period of Bird and Deers and them and Sonny Rollins, and there was a very short period of Bird and Deers, maybe 10 years. You know, Deers might have been a little more than 10 years. Bird's about 10 years, and the love we felt for these people all over, everywhere we went, we all felt the same love, and we all had. You know what it was too? Mm-hmm. We had one star. See the other people nowadays. You got a lot of stars. Herbie Hancock. You got Keith Jarrett. You got Chick Corea. You got all. And yet, if you went and asked Chick Corea and ask him who's the best piano player, Chick Corea, you know he's gonna say Bud Powell. If you went and asked Bill Evans, and if he was here, and you asked Bill Evans, you say, "Who's the best piano player?" You say, "Bud Powell." You asked Wynton McKelly, "Who's the best piano player?" "Bud Powell." See, these cats, they got one gonna say Keith Jarrett, one gonna say this person, one gonna say the other. You know, no, man. We all knew who the best piano player was. After the great piano player. You know, the greatest piano player, that's the 30s, and that would be Art Tatum.
Right.
See, Art Tatum came in the 30s, and Art Tatum, like Jackie Byard, he could stride, because Jackie Byard was a teenager in the 30s. See, I was a teenager in the 40s, and that's the Bud Powell, Charlie Parker era, because they broke away from the big bands, and they started forming these little groups. And so Bud Powell was the best quarter and the best soloist of all of them, you know. So we all had the notion, we learned how to play by listening to Bud Powell. Mostly Al Haig a little bit, too, because Al Haig was influenced by Bud, too.
Yeah, no, I want you to go back to this Mel Powell. I want to be clear. It was a drummerless contingent? It was just bass? Or was there...
Bass? No bass. Just drums and piano.
So how did you? So this is so awesome. Explain to the audience how you guys got the time feel down without the bass.
You know what, man? Because the drummers played 4/4 with that foot pedal, man. Boom, boom, and you had the guitar player saying ching, 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 right?
Right.
You got the guitar player keeping time. You got the drummer playing 4/4. Man, you learn to swing with that. You know. That's what it was. That's how we learned to do this stuff, man. And believe me, man, we caught hell too, because you know a lot of stuff has come up. And see, I've been teaching a long time. Oh man, I need to teach teachers. I don't need to teach students.
Well, let me ask you a question. This is so important because.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so. I really need to, there's just so much floating around in my head, but the idea is that the best players are not always the best teachers.
Positively not.
So, I mean, if you were talking, I guess here's the point. How is the music, how is the vocabulary of music supposed to grow?
Let me tell you about me. You know what, man? I play in front of the students to show them that I can play. See, a lot of teachers, I've had a lot of teachers, they were great teachers, but I never heard them play. You know what I mean? You know, classical teachers, I never heard them play, but they knew how to teach you, you know? And see what I do, I make sure that I play. I play in front of them. I say, look here, I can play. And that's what I do. I play in front of them and show them that I can play. That's very important as far as I'm concerned.
Well, but hold on. Why is it important? They know you can play. It's about them playing.
No, you have to do it in front of them where they can see it. They have to see this. They have to see it, and then they got to feel it. See, I got to sit at the piano sometime by myself. You know, I sit at the piano and I just start playing, and they learn. Oh, this is the way it's supposed to be, because they feel it ahead of time.
I did.
They feel it without the bass player, without the drummer. That's where we goof a lot. Is that, see, one time I went to Birdland, and it was a jam session, and oh God, Earl Garner sat in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I heard Earl Garner sat in at this jam session, man, and something told me. I said, Lordy. So that's the secret. You have to swing by yourself.
You have to swing by yourself.
You have to swing by yourself.
I love that. Okay, so I mean, but you have a huge. Also, I want you to talk about the concept of learning to play. Jackie Byard did this with his students at Berkeley, because Jackie was a drummer too. And so those cats would come in and play the piano, and Jackie would play, you know, let's play whatever song, take the A Train in all 12 keys. And then the cat would play the piano, he'd fall apart at a certain point, and Jackie would say, okay, now you know what your homework assignment is. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
let me tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
if you was coming to the Tin Palace when I was playing there with George Coleman, Tin Palace, we played Cherokee in every key.
Wait, hold on. What was the name of the club?
Tin Palace.
The Tin Palace in New York.
Yeah.
Tell me about playing that in every key. I mean, what was?
We just did it. And nothing. We just did it. You make yourself do it. Go on, let's do it. It's not that you set up. It's not that I set up a practice in every key, or I came prepared. I'm prepared because I can play that Cherokee in every key. No, it's not like that. It's something else. You have to do this almost. There are certain moves that people are supposed to know, which they don't know. Like movements. Like the young piano players don't know movements. They don't know certain things that you do that are automatic. They don't know about that. So they do funny little things. They have funny little introductions. Introductions have to show that they're intros. They don't know how to do that. It's a lot of things they don't know how to do. You have to tell them. I have to tell them at the end of the second eight, you got to play the F, the minor, the 4 minor, and then go back to the 1. But then you go to the bridge. They don't know. They don't know little teeny things that you learn as you go along. But it's funny.
Well, we got a game on this program called Name That Tune. I'm going to put this tune in for you, and then...
don't do that. Nowadays I couldn't name a song.
Hey, just sit back and enjoy it, man. All right? Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, here we go. I cannot believe I heard you. You nailed it. You got it.
That's who I grew up with, Sonny Red.
Do you know the? Do you know? But you know something. Hold on. Do you know the name of that tune? Do you know the name of that tune?
Yeah. All I do is think of you the whole day.
All I do is dream of you. Yeah, Barry. Yeah.
I'm like that.
Yeah, break it down. Sonny Red, man. Total unsung cat. Tell me about growing up with Sonny.
Oh, man, we grew up there. We were the ones who practiced all the time together. He and I, we were the closest. I was closest with Sonny Red than anybody else. The other cats came to my house. Donald Byrd came, Yusuf would come, and Roland Handler would come. They would come to my. Sir Roland Handler told me, he said, me and Sonny Red, because they come from the north end of town. See, and they would come to my house. Roland Handler said they would come to my house, climb those stairs just to come up there and learn how to play some changes and stuff, learn about chords. See, my house was like a mecca. It was like the place to come, and we really did have a ball, And so, man, talking about the music is...
And you lose where the 1 is. And yet everybody, because of the feel and because of the comfortability and the truth, you're able to all come back in on the 1. I just want Barry Harris' concept of any note can be the 1.
Yeah, no. It's like, this is not a measure by measure thing. It's like classical music when they play those classical things, symphonies, it ain't a measure thing. It's a total thing that becomes 1. And so we're the same. Man, you can't play 1 measure C minor 7 to F7. It's like sometimes the B-flat major is going to come in early, or maybe the F7 is going to come in early. If you believe in C minor 7 to F7, I don't believe in that anyway. See, I don't believe in 2s. I think all 2s should be put away.
Who was
That's all I
the,
can
how
say.
do you, I mean, a lot of the time, a lot of cats today, we talk about piano players, you said they do a lot of quote unquote funny things, but a lot of younger drummers today don't know how to play a shuffle. Can you
They don't know, and believe me, man, the shuffle is the greatest thing.
ever? And it's not used in jazz much anymore. But I just wanted you to talk about in the Detroit scene when you were playing.
That was what we had to do, like rhythm and blues.
Yeah,
We had to play rhythm and blues gigs, and we had to play with them drummers who knew how to play the shuffle, my man. The shuffle is all the shuffle. Sometimes I think the shuffle is the best thing.
why?
I can't tell you. It's something about the shuffle that says, oh, it's something about the rhythm of the shuffle. I can't tell you. I think that when the cats be playing the regular drums, they should be thinking about the shuffle anyway. You know.
Who was the best drummer best shuffle drummer you played with?
Oh man, well Detroit was loaded with them. Those cats, some of those cats that went with Motown, Pistol.
Like
there was a couple of cats.
Benny Benjamin. You play with Pistol and those cats?
Yeah.
Did you?
Oh sure.
Oh my God! So wait, besides the Motown cats, so like Roy Brooks or like who?
Oh, all those kids. Roy Brooks, that's the baby.
I know.
He was the baby.
What about Elvin? Elvin could play a good shuffle.
Elvin, when he got out of the army, we had a trio together. First thing.
Who was in the trio?
Oh Lord, who was on bass?
Who was it? Ollie Jackson?
I don't know if it was. No, it wasn't Ollie Jackson. It was. It might have been. Oh, one of the. What were their names?
Well,
Jackson's.
Yeah.
Oh, Elvin Jackson. Might have been Elvin Jackson, or it might have been Will Austin. A lot of cats. There were a lot of cats that could play.
And you and Elvin were playing R&B music?
No. We had the jazz gigs. I played the R&B with some other cats because you had to make some money. Those were other kind of cats, but they were good cats too because most of those cats could play too. So it wasn't any such thing as not being able to play. The rhythm and blues cats could play too. They had their shuffle rhythm down pat. They knew how to do that stuff, and so it all, I don't know, man. It all worked out.
No, and we'll have to set up a time to do part two. But you said
let's do that right now because I got to get.
How about can we do a week from today?
What is the day?
Friday. Next Friday.
Good.
Yeah, I just want to ask you before you go.
Real quick.
Yeah, can you talk about the first time you went to the motherland of Africa to play?
I didn't go. I never been in Africa.
I'll call you next week.
Huh?
I'll
Never.
call.
Bye now.
All right, bye-bye.
Next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Legendary Barry Harris. He's on a gig tonight with Toshiko Akiyoshi, and really just an honor to even spend 25 minutes with him, dropping some knowledge. We're going to put in a tune with him right now, featuring Harold Land, West Coast Blues, Wes Montgomery, Joe Gordon, Barry Harris, and Louis Hayes. I'll be back tomorrow with Creed Taylor. Until then, peace.